Welcome back. This segment of the Sports Source is brought to you by Southeast Termite and Pest Control. The weather is warmer. It's time to head outside and enjoy your yard, except for those stinking mosquitoes. You got to get rid of them first. And boy, is there a brand new mosquito treatment in town that is more effective than ever, and it doesn't impact the good flying insects in your yards. The honeybees aren't impacted by this, but boy, the mosquitoes, they're gone, and they carry it from spot to spot. So once it's on them, they can't escape. Mosquitoes, get rid of them. Call Southeast Termite and Pest Control, southeasttermite.com. All right, back with Chuck, Jimmy, Vince, and we're going to gather around later, take up donations. I'm going to pass the hat to get Chuck a new TV. The Tennessee baseball team, it'll be a daddy hat or a mommy hat. Tennessee baseball team, which has struggled on the road for much of the year, wrapped up the regular season, taking 2 out of 3 at South Carolina. It was a big way to finish off the season. The number 18 Vols will now be the 7 seed in the SEC tournament, which starts this week. They'll open against 10 seed Texas A&M. Meanwhile, the Lady Vols Softball team, they are already into the finals of the regional right now. They await the winner of Louisville versus Indiana today. They will play that team this afternoon. If they win, they're on to the super regional. If they lose, they will play another game tomorrow. So they got 2 chances to win 1 game to make it to a super regional. So softball is about a week ahead of where baseball is. Vince, you do the work with the baseball team, so I'm going to put you on the spot. Which of these 2 teams goes further? And I had to ask these guys earlier. Further is the theoretical sense. Farther is distance, literal. So which team goes further?
You know, I'm going to say, even though they're both very capable, I'm going to say softball, and here's why. Softball the tournament is more chalky, typically, where the best teams often do get to the World Series. Now, you had UCLA as the number 2 overall seed. There was 2 in barbecue. I mean, from our own regional, they were upset. That was shocking. Those things don't happen as often as they do in baseball, where you have upsets all over the place. And I think this year you could have that even more than other years because of the transfer portal, spread out of talent. So both of them are very capable of it, but I think because softball has less upsets and because Tennessee has been at the top of the sport for a good part of the year and they're playing great right now, I would say them. But Tennessee is ascending to the way they've played in the second half of the year in baseball.
He says softball. Do we have anybody that disagrees with him, or do you agree with the same reasons?
I think it's softball, but I would also add that the softball team has been way more consistent than the baseball team.
Yeah.
Right.
They're higher ranked, and they go 3 deep with the pitching staff. Yep. They've not been able to go 3 deep with their pitching staff. And
usually if you've just got one, you're good in that sport.
Right, and now that I went and watched the no-hitter by Godshell the other day, but they can go, they're deeper with their pitching. They've got really good hitting. They got the home run leader in the country in Kiki Malloy. So I think it's softball. Is baseball capable? Yes, because we've seen, but they're so up and down and hot and cold. I mentioned game to game, and Vince said, no, it's inning to inning. So.
Well, it's good news they're not the number 1 seed overall, though. That's always a curse, and it cursed them last year.
Different dynamic.
Chuck, I'll turn this around. We'll change the question for you, so I'm sure you were prepared. Now throw it out. Okay. So you get the back half of this question. That is, what are the odds there, Chucky C. Note, of getting both these teams in the World Series? Because that would be a real rarity.
You're that would be
how
because,
great this.
What 8 make it? Correct.
Yeah.
You're only going to have 8 make it. I would say 4-1 against. I'd have the Lady Vols probably even money to make it. I like their chances. They've won the regular season. They've won the tournament in their league. Number 4 national seed. Tennessee's so inconsistent on the road that as long as they're playing at home, I like that. But I would have Tennessee as more like a 3-1 maybe to make it to Omaha. So I'd have 4-1 overall.
I think your odds are still pretty good, considering. I would make them longer than that. I may have to make a bet here with the Chequisino Casino.
Well, you step right up.
And we know the Lady.
Come on in, the water's warm.
We know the Lady Vols, if they win 1 game today or they win 1 game in the regional and get to the supers, they're going to be at home. We don't know Tennessee if they're going to host the regional, if they're going to be on the road. And have they gotten better since they won this last series on the road? Is that good enough to kind of give them an opportunity to make a run on the road?
Last question for you very quickly. They've still got to get to the SEC tournament, but if the season ended today, it doesn't, but if it did, what are they looking at seed-wise?
I still think they're probably on a 2 seed right now. And that's, look, RPI's gotten up to like 16, 17, but that's still like 9th in the SEC. Yeah. So there's a lot of competition and some of the teams that they were competing with have done well. So I would say 2, win a couple of games, and they could very well be in a better spot to host.
Quick, the odds to me are almost astronomical, but they're better than they've been in 18 or so years.
Yeah, I think
both of them.
Well, and you look at overall, it's one of the reasons that Tennessee's doing so well in the all sports competition. You know, everybody's doing well right now, but if you've got a baseball program and a softball program that are both legitimate chances to make it to their World Series, again, it just speaks to how well everything over there is going right now.
And the more home games they have, the better the odds are, to me. That's
Obviously.
huge.
Okay. When we come back, Vols have landed an absolutely freakish athlete. We'll show you some of the video of him going against guys who I don't know that they've ever seen a football before, but he looks good. We'll talk about Emmanuel Okoye next, including where should he start out when he arrives on campus. We'll show you this guy next. Come on back.